why don't you try these sliders? They are absolutely wonderful. We have hamburger sliders, buffalo chicken sliders, and barbecue sliders. If you'd like to learn how to make these, stay tuned. Go team! So glad you stayed tuned. So let's get started making these delicious sliders. The first thing we need to do is prepare our hamburger sliders. It's the only meat that's raw in this series of recipe right here. So you need about 2 pounds of ground beef, and you need a large mixing bowl. And I'm just going to dump this into the bowl. Okay, and then you're going to need some onion soup mix. Just 1 envelope will be fine. So just pour that right in the bowl with your hamburger. And beef is always better with Worcestershire. So I'm going to put about a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce into this meat mixture. All right, so this is where it gets messy. You're going to use your hands. So if you have rings on, you might want to remove them, or if you want to get some food grade gloves, you can do that as well. Just know this is the messy part, and you really can't mix this with a spoon. So let's dig in with our hands. Make sure your hands are good and clean, because you don't want to spread any germs or anything like that. So just mix it and mix it and mix it. You don't want any of that dry soup mix to be exposed in your meat. And you just want to incorporate the Worcestershire and the onion soup mix. And this is going to give your meat flavor. I don't know if you've ever eaten at a Crystal or a White Castle where they have the grilled onions on it. I know I've only eaten at a White Castle once. I can't quite remember if they did, but I know Crystal does. But this is my version of the homemade hamburger sliders, and I hope you will like it. I love the onion soup mix. I use it in a lot of different things, and it is very, very yummy. Okay, this looks like it's pretty well incorporated. So I have a baking sheet, and make sure your sheet has sides, because you don't want that grease flowing into your oven and creating a fire in your oven. I don't know if that's going to be too large, but let's see what we have here. So what we're going to do, and you want it very, very thin. I went with a larger pan. I didn't think my smaller one was going to work, but I'd rather err on the side of caution here. Oops. All right, so you're just going to press it and get it very, very thin. You don't want it crawling up on the sides here, but you do want it spread to the side. And be careful that you don't, create holes in your mixture. So just press it out to get those out there. So you want these very, very thin. If you want to use a rolling pin or something, you can do that. So I just want about like so. Just make it sure it's kind of even, that there aren't any large hills in this, which will also aid in the baking. Don't worry about getting it perfectly square. Okay, and just use your best judgment here. Okay. Trust me, this is going to be delicious. So got this spread out, and I have my oven preheated to 375. And I'm going to put this in the oven. I think that's about good here. I'm going to put this in the oven for about 30 minutes, and then I'm going to check it to see if it's done. If it's not, you can always put it back in there a little bit longer, but I'm going to test it, and I'll tell you the final results, how long it took. But I'm going to put that in there, and while it's baking, we're going to prepare our barbecue pork and our buffalo chicken. So let me put this in the oven, and I'll be right back. Okay, so the hamburger meat is in the oven. So next we're going to prepare our barbecue pork. And we cooked a Boston butt, I think this was back in September. Yeah, probably about Labor Day. And so I do have a recipe on how to cook Boston butt. It's on my indoor barbecue series. So if you would like to see that, tune in. But you can buy the barbecue already made in the stores, but this is so good. So we just freeze any leftovers we have, and we don't let our food go to waste. You know, we want to freeze it and use it for other recipes. So we're going to use our Boston butt that we cooked back in September. And, you know, we use this to make Brunswick stew, whatever. This may be a little much for this. So we'll use this for something else later. So I filled the bowl up. And then you can use your favorite barbecue sauce. Now this is a store-bought barbecue sauce, and this is our favorite store-bought. Again, in my indoor barbecue series, I make a barbecue sauce that recipe was given to me by my friend Terry. It's so delicious, and it's worth making. But if you don't want to make your own, you can buy store-bought. And for the sake of time in this video, we're just going to use our favorite Sweet Baby Ray's, whatever you want. The homemade version is more of a vinegar base. So if you like that, please check it out. There are plenty of barbecue sauces that you can use. It's just depending on your favorites. So we're just going to mix this in with the pork. And it's just no measurement. Just kind of coat the pork very well. Just make sure it's good and coated. Okay, and then I'm just going to take my tongs and mix it up. And see if we need a little more sauce in there after we get it mixed up. So I'm just tossing it about. Sorry about all the racket I'm making here. Had so many ingredients on my counter. So just mix it up, and you can mix it up a little better once it's heated. And we're just heating it, you know, to get it, the sauce heated in there. Okay. Looks good. I'm going to get that off my tongs here. So I'm going to pop this in the microwave for a couple of minutes. And then when I come back from the microwave, we'll start the buffalo chicken. Okay, so our barbecue is getting warm in the microwave. Our hamburgers are still in the oven, so let's prepare our buffalo chicken. So for the buffalo chicken, you're going to need a stick of butter. I like real butter. You can use margarine if you like to. And I'm just going to put that in the pan here. Want the butter off my fingers. Okay, let that melt a little bit. So while that's melting, I have measured out half a cup of hot sauce. This is just a store brand. You can use your favorite brand. Actually, Crystal is our favorite brand, but this is just what we had on hand. You know, there's Texas Pete, Tabasco, whatever you like. So about half a cup of your favorite hot sauce. In with that butter. That butter's going to melt. And you have to have ranch with your buffalo chicken, right? So I'm about out, but I'm going to try to get about a tablespoon out here. I love getting these large containers. You know, you can get these at your wholesale clubs. But the packages work out good too. So I'm going to put about a tablespoon of ranch dressing mix in here. This goes with a lot of things. You can make a lot of things with ranch dressing. So this is why we buy this. We make the ranch dressing to put on our salads. We put it in several recipes. Amazing on potatoes. Oh my goodness, yes. So let's get this butter all melty and get the hot sauce mixed in with the ranch dressing mix. You can also use this recipe right here. If you get wings, you can pour it over your wings and bake them in the oven. Oh my goodness. So good. Some of the best wings you'll ever have. Okay, I'm trying to get this butter very melted. We don't have to cook anything because I'm using the rotisserie chicken that we froze. Remember a couple of months ago I bought 3 rotisserie chickens and we shredded it up and put it in the freezer for quick meal prep. So this is one of the times we're using it. I think I've made a couple of other things. Alright, so you can use all the white meat or the dark meat. We're using a combination of the two. So let's get our white meat in there. And you can shred this up as finely as you like or as coarse as you like. This may be a little more than we need, so I'm just gonna get the bag open. There we go. I'm just gonna put a little bit of it in there, and then we'll use the rest for something else later. That's about enough right there. So I'm just gonna, that's starting to boil, so I'm just gonna get it all coated. And just let that heat up just a little bit. You see that? Oh, it smells good. Smells real good. We're gonna pop these in the oven so it doesn't have to get hot. Alright. I think this is good. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn the heat off. And when the hamburger's done, we're going to come back and we're going to assemble our sliders. For the slider rolls, we like to use the King Hawaiian. You can use the sweet rolls, but we are using the savory butter today because all of this is a savory thing we're making here. So stay tuned. I will get the hamburgers out of the oven, get the barbecue out, and we'll make hamburger, buffalo chicken, and barbecue sliders. So stay tuned. Okay, our hamburger is ready. It did shrink quite a bit. The leaner the meat, the less shrinkage you're going to get. And this was just about 2 pounds of the, I think it's 70 lean. So depending on if you want the leaner the meat, if you are feeding a larger crowd, you can double, triple, quadruple the recipe, you know, to suit your needs for the people that you're feeding. So once this is ready, but this is enough for the 2 of us. So I'm going to use a pizza cutter. You can use a knife. I just think this would be easier. And I'm just going to run my pizza cutter through the meat and make little squares. I need to hold on to it with a paper towel because the pan's still a little hot. And I'm going to lay this on some paper towels to let the fat drain off. And some of my edges were a little thicker, but you know, this isn't for perfection. This is just to make a good homemade slider to enjoy while you watch the game or a movie or whatever it is you are wanting to do. So I'm just going to lay these on a plate with a paper towel on it to drain some of the grease off. And then I'm going to get everything together to assemble the sliders. So let me get all these on the plate, and they'll cool off just a little bit, and then we will assemble the sliders. All right, so these are going to drain on the paper towels, so I'll be right back. All right, so let's put our sliders together, and here's where your creativity comes in. So I've got a baking pan here, and I'm just going to spray it with a little cooking spray so the sliders don't stick. And we have pre-sliced our King Hawaiian rolls. Of course, you can use any roll that you can find that, you know, is this size. So we sliced them and put them back in here. So let's see if we have enough to cover these. All right, now I'm going to break them apart. Two. So what you put on these is up to you. I cooked a few slices of bacon and I just broke them up into big pieces here. And you add your condiments after you get them out of the oven. Unless you have something warm to spread on it that, you know, would be good warm. Okay, so I'm going to start with a patty. And I'm just going to lay these on the buns like so. Some of these are bigger than others. That's okay. If you have some wonky pieces and you want to save them out, you know, to drop them in a soup or something, that's perfectly fine. Some of them I cut a little too small, so I'm going to put 2 here. So just arrange them on the bottom bun. That's a little big. I'm going to cut this little end off here. And these are going to be so delicious. All right, I'm going to wipe my hands off here. Oh, I missed a bun. Let's do this one. So any leftovers that you have that you don't want to make, you can, you know, crumble this up, put them in a soup, or just eat them, or whatever. All right, I'm just going to sprinkle a little sharp cheddar. You can use sliced cheese, whatever cheese you want, or no cheese. It's totally up to you. And then when I get them out of the oven, I'm probably going to put just a little mustard and a pickle. I think the traditional sliders in the fast food restaurants, it's just mustard and pickle and onion. The onion's baked in here. So good. But you can top it with whatever you have. I have some sliced hamburger deals, and I have some spicy banana peppers. But I'm not going to put that on until I get them out of the oven. And I'm just going to lay just a piece of bacon on some of them. Because who doesn't love a bacon cheeseburger? Like so. That one needs a little more cheese love. But like I said, if you don't want cheese on them, you don't. Usually when I order crystals, I don't get cheese on them. You know, the bacon's totally optional. But this household loves bacon, so that's a fatty piece there. I think I'm going to leave those two without bacon. Okay, so now we just got to put the top buns on. So I wanted to go ahead and separate them so they'll be easy to get out of the oven. And I'm always wishing you could smell the smells that are going on in this kitchen when we're making stuff. It smells so good in here. So if you make sliders like these and you have guests coming over, or you take these to a party, your friends are going to love you. And they walk in the house, they're going, oh my goodness, it smells divine. So I don't need this anymore. All right, so I'm gonna set this aside and then we'll get our buffalo chicken and barbecue. Okay, so now I'm gonna put the chicken sliders together. Real simple. I already put my rolls in here, and I didn't buy 2 packages, so we're doing half of the chicken, half of the barbecue. So let's start with the chicken. So you're just gonna get a little helping here, and just simple assembly here. My goodness, anybody should be able to do this. And of course, if you don't have any meat in the freezer, you can buy a rotisserie chicken. Or you can bake some chicken in the oven. I'm going to take that little piece out. So if you want to add some cheese on here, or, you know, some pepper jack would be delicious on here. We're just going to leave them plain. Well, they're not plain, but we're going to leave them like they are. So I'm making 6 chicken sliders, and I will have some meat left over. And another thing you can do with this barbecue chicken is make a pizza. What you do is you can get a pizza crust already made, or you can make your own. And what you do is you spread the some more buffalo sauce on the pizza crust. You top it with the chicken, and then you sprinkle with some blue cheese if you like to, and you can drop blue cheese dressing or ranch dressing over the top after it's done. It's so good. All right, so I've got chicken on these, and now the barbecue. And again, you can do whatever your imagination allows. Let me wipe my fingers off again. So this is the chicken over here. And I'm just going to put a little bit of this barbecue pork on here. And you can also put these on regular size buns. You know, there's always that option. The hamburger, if you want to mix it like I did for the sliders, instead of pressing it in a pan, you can form into patties and cook them on the grill. You know, there's lots of options here. If you want a little bigger sandwich to hold, these are just nice for parties because it's kind of a finger food, if you will. Okay, so I've got the barbecue on here. Now you can top these with some peppers and onions. I'm just going to leave them like they are, but you know, use your imagination here. All right, so let's just top these here. And we've got one more surprise for you here. Okay, these are topped. Let's top our barbecue here. But like I said, you can use regular size buns or Texas toast. But I just like the sliders, they're really handy. Okay, I've got a stick of butter that I have melted in the microwave. So I'm going to go get that, and then we will complete these and pop them in the oven for a few minutes, okay? Okay, so let's put the finishing touch on these and pop them in the oven. I've got a stick of butter melted here, and all I'm going to do is add a few seasonings. You can do your favorite seasonings. We love our garlic powder. So I'm not measuring anything, I'm just sprinkling. You can put a little salt and pepper in here if you'd like. I'm putting onion powder. A little, that was garlic. I'm putting onion powder in here now. And if I can get it out. There we go. And I love Parmesan cheese, so I'm going to put a little bit of Parmesan cheese in here. This is totally optional. If you want to just put plain butter on here, I do recommend putting some butter on here just to kind of steam the bun a little bit and give it a lot of flavor. Trust me, you won't regret it. But if you want to season up your butter, very, very good to do so. So I'm just taking a little barbecue brush and I'm brushing this over the tops of the buns here. Now I'll also make a ham and cheese slider if you'd like to see that, and I'll put poppy seeds in it. If you want to comment in the comments that you would like to see that recipe, we'll be happy to post that, which would also be good for, you know, a game time snack. You know, I did post a series last year, so please check that out. This is going to be added to that series. Okay, so now we're just going to top our hamburgers. And I don't think they do these in the fast food restaurants that make these. And you know, get you some good French fries. This is easy to make. No need to go out and eat. You can make delicious food at home. Alright, these are good coated. I'll have to use that butter for something else. We can use it for a dipping sauce later. Alright, so now my oven is at 350. I'm going to pop these in for about 10 minutes. Everything's cooked, nothing has to cook, but about 10 minutes to get these all hot and bubbly and the butter seeped into the buns. Now another suggestion, if you want to make these ahead of time and soak this butter in for about an hour, even better. But for the sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and put these in the oven, and then we'll be back after 10 minutes. Our sliders are ready. This kitchen is smelling great. I can't wait to try these. We have our hamburger sliders, our buffalo chicken sliders, and our barbecue sliders. You can plate these up on a platter. Your guests can top them with whatever they like. We have pickles and jalapenos or cheese. Whatever, just lay it out for the fans to enjoy. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know if you try any of these. I'd love to hear from you and how you like these recipes. Check out the rest of the series that we posted last year on Game Day Party Foods. We have firecrackers and a cheese ball that you really need to try. We have some meatballs and some cocktail wieners. Just some very enjoyable food. So I hope you will subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope you are blessed, and may the best team win. See you on the next one.